1970 was a year where soul was shifting. Motown was polishing its shine, Stax was getting gritty, and every city had a band chasing that one magic record. Maybe you slow danced to The Moments on a summer night. Maybe Chairman of the Board played on your cousin's turntable. These are the forgotten R&B one-hit wonders of 1970, songs that still live in the heart. Number 10, Groovin' Out on Life by The New Birth. This one came from a young, hungry collective out of Louisville, Kentucky. The New Birth, guided by producer Harvey Fuqua, who had once worked closely with the legendary Marvin Gaye. In 1970, the group was still forming its identity, a crowded family of singers and players trying to fuse soul, funk, and gospel into something electric, and Groovin' Out on Life became their one bright spark. A breezy, feel-good groove that floated through black radio stations, block parties, and roller rinks with a warm, effortless swing. Behind the scenes, they were rehearsing like their lives depended on it, because they did. Money was tight, the industry was shifting fast, and every performance felt like a make-or-break moment. You can hear that hustle in every horn line, every harmony stack. Close your eyes, and it's a summer stoop somewhere in 70. Screen doors squeaking, kids playing in the street, the smell of fried chicken and sweet grass in the air, vinyl spinning under a cheap needle. Though The New Birth later influenced groups like New Edition and even Early Boys II Men in their vocal blend, this track remains their signature moment. Their one brush with radio-wide love. If this one felt like sunlight and slow afternoons, the next track brings a little more mischief. Number 9, Stick Up by The Honeycomb. Number 9 brings us to The Honeycomb. A trio out of Los Angeles who blended sweet harmonies with a bold, sassy attitude. In 1971, they dropped Stick Up, a playful, brassy R&B jam that flipped the language of crime and robbery into a metaphor for love gone wrong. This was during the height of the Hot Wax label era, the same creative circle that nurtured Chairman of the Board and helped keep the Detroit soul spirit alive as Motown shifted coasts. What makes Stick Up so striking is the attitude. These women weren't begging or longing. They were calling somebody out. It was fresh. It was sharp. It was a mirror that held up to relationships everywhere. And behind that cool confidence were writers and producers who knew exactly how to make a record explode on radio. Punchy horn riffs, crisp drum breaks, and harmonies that hit like a knowing smirk. But here's the twist. Even though this song hit, charted, and made noise, fame didn't hold. The Honeycomb didn't get the long runway so many groups dream of. The industry was shifting, disco winds were starting to blow, and labels were betting big on new sounds. Their moments shined bright, then faded fast. Close your eyes and you can feel it. A Friday night in 71, streetlights glowing amber, a record spinning in someone's living room as women laugh and sing along, reclaiming their power. Stick Up was more than a song. It was a mood. And if this track had a little sass and swagger, the next one taps into pure heartache, the kind that lingers long after the last note fades. Number 8, Love on a Two-Way Street by The Moments. Now we slow it down because number 8 is one of those heart-stopping records. A song that felt like it came straight out of a lonely night window, drifting down a quiet street. The Moments, based out of New Jersey and recording on the Stang label, released Love on a Two-Way Street in 1970. At the time, they were still defining who they were, a group in transition, trying to stand out in a crowded R&B scene filled with polished Motown productions and rough-edged Southern soul ballads. And here's the story. This song almost wasn't theirs. It had originally been recorded by Leslie Valentine, one of the early sweethearts of soul. But when the Moments took it, they slowed it down, softened it, and gave it a fragile, aching tenderness that made the heartbreak feel real. The quiet guitar lines, the soft drums, the sigh in the lead vocal. It was like listening to someone remembering a first love that didn't last. You can practically see the scene. A dim-lit bedroom, radio glowing in the dark, a young heart learning its first bruise. The lyrics spoke to love that was supposed to be mutual, but somewhere, someone let go. And that's why it hit, because everyone's been there. The track climbed the charts, touched millions, became the slow dance song for countless school gyms and basement parties, but the Moments never found another hit that reached the same height. Fate gave them one perfect memory, and it has lived on through samples and quiet sing-alongs ever since. If this song was heartbreak wrapped in velvet, then the next track brings us back into the sunshine with just a touch of hope and perseverance. Number 7, Gimme Just a Little More Time by Chairman of the Board.
Give me just a little more time.
Now we step into something upbeat, hopeful, but still full of longing. Chairman of the Board were the flagship group of the Hot Wax label, guided by the legendary songwriting team Holland Dozier Holland after they left Motown. This was their big swing into building a new sound, one that carried the Motown groove but had a little more grit, a little more real-life ache under the shine. Released in 1970, Gimme Just a Little More Time was the moment where everything came together. General Johnson's unmistakable voice, that quivering vibrato, that pleading urgency, made it feel like he was right there in front of you, asking for another chance. The track was bright, brassy, full of life, yet the core emotion was raw vulnerability. It was the sound of someone holding on to love by the fingertips. Behind the studio glass, this song almost didn't happen. There were disputes about ownership, about identity, about whether they should chase the Motown flavor they came from or break away entirely. But when the band hit that groove and Johnson delivered that opening baby, everyone in the room knew. They had found their moment. This song spun through every cookout, every block party, every Saturday night card game. You can picture it vividly. Someone opening a screen door to yell, "Turn that up." Laughter, clinking glasses, kids chasing fireflies, couples swaying without even realizing they're dancing. Gimme Just a Little More Time was a hit, a real one, reaching deep into the hearts of listeners. But the group never found another song that caught fire quite the same way. One glowing memory, held forever. And while this one asked for patience and hope, the next track deals with a love story turned sideways, with a groove you could never forget, even if you tried. Number 6, Somebody's Been Sleeping by 100 Proof, Aged in Soul. one comes with a bite. Released in 1970 on the Hot Wax label, 100 Proof, Aged in Soul, was another one of those groups built by Holland Dozier Holland during their post-Motown renaissance. But unlike many polished vocal groups of the era, 100 Proof had a rougher edge, a street corner grit mixed with church-born harmony. Somebody's Been Sleeping took the familiar childhood fairy tale of Goldilocks and the Three Bears and twisted it into something grown and painful. A relationship betrayal discovered one clue at a time. Listen closely and you can hear it. The suspicion, the confrontation, the heartbreak hiding underneath the funk-driven bass line. The lead vocal doesn't cry, it accuses. It's the sound of a man trying to keep his composure as the truth sinks in, and that honesty made the song land hard with listeners everywhere. It wasn't just catchy, it was relatable. And picture the scene. A living room in 1970, radio glowing warm, someone sitting still in their favorite chair, staring at nothing in particular as the song spells out exactly what they already feared. The drums move steady, the horns cut sharp, and the story unfolds like a revelation you didn't want but couldn't avoid. The song hit big, top 10 on both the R&B and Hot 100 charts, but the group couldn't maintain that spotlight. Changing lineups, shifting label priorities, and the fast-moving nature of the early 70s music scene meant this moment came, and then faded. Still, Somebody's Been Sleeping lives on as a shard of real life, wrapped in rhythm and sorrow. If these forgotten gems are pulling up memories, maybe of that old family stereo, or the records your uncle kept in milk crates, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. It helps keep this soul history alive. And don't move. The top 5 still holds some deep emotional treasures. Number 5, Precious, Precious by Jackie Moore.
Precious, 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 precious.
Now we lean into something tender, something intimate. Released in 1970 on Atlantic Records, Jackie Moore's Precious, Precious was a slow-burning masterpiece. The kind of song that didn't explode overnight, but wrapped around listeners like a warm embrace and stayed there.
You're so precious.
Jackie was only in her early 20s when she recorded it, but her voice carried a maturity far beyond her years, smoky, aching, and sure. This wasn't the shy confession of young love. This was a grown woman speaking her truth. The track found life in the quiet spaces, late-night radio slots, lovers' conversations, unspoken apologies, living room slow dances where nobody cared who was watching.
Oh, you're precious, honey. You're so precious.
The arrangement was simple but rich. Soft organ swells, relaxed percussion, and Jackie's voice soaring right where it needed to. You can almost hear the vinyl crackle, the dim lamp glow, the sigh of someone leaning their head on somebody else's shoulder. Here's the bittersweet part. Jackie Moore had the talent, the presence, and the emotional depth to go the distance. But the industry didn't know how to shape her.
Sure ain't no fun. But what they don't know.
Trends were shifting, labels were chasing newer, flashier sounds. And instead of nurturing an artist who spoke to the soul, she was left standing at the edges of the spotlight she deserved. Yet, Precious, Precious survived. Passed along like a secret between people who knew. Sampled quietly, played at weddings, shared on mixtapes, whispered about in record collector circles.
Precious, honey. You're so precious.
It's one of those songs that doesn't need fame, because it lives in memory. And while this one wrapped us in love, the next track lifts us into pure comfort, a reminder that even when the world feels heavy, better days really are coming. Number 4, OOAH Child by the 5 Stair Steps.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easy.
Number 4 is a song that feels like sunlight breaking through clouds. Released in 1970 on Buddha Records, the 5 Stair Steps crafted OOH Child at a time when the world and the country was aching for hope.
Someday when the world is much brighter.
This was just after the peaks of the civil rights movement, when grief and struggle were still fresh in the community. And here came a song that didn't deny the pain, but promised that things would get better. The group was young, literally siblings, coached by their father, with harmonies shaped by living room practice sessions and Sunday church traditions. When they sang, they didn't sound like a polished studio act. They sounded like family. And that's exactly what made OOH Child so deeply comforting. The recording session itself had almost a gentle magic to it. The arrangement was airy, soft strings, steady drums, and a melody that lifted like a prayer. When the chorus hits, someday, yeah, we'll walk in the rays of a beautiful sun. You can feel your chest loosen, your shoulders drop, your heart remember itself. Picture it, a summer block, kids jumping rope, fire hydrants spraying into the street, an old radio on the windowsill playing this song into the open air, people trying to find joy in the middle of everything else, people wanting to believe. The song climbed charts, crossed genres, became a comfort anthem for generations. And yet, the group never found another hit that lived this big.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier.
This was their moment. One shining, healing memory suspended in time. If this one felt like a hand on your shoulder telling you to hold on, the next track brings passion, desire, and a voice that could stop a room. Number 3, If You Let Me Make Love to You, Then Why Can't I Touch You? By Ronnie Dyson.
If you let me make love to you, then what?
This one is pure longing. Released in 1970, Ronnie Dyson was only 20 years old when his voice poured through this record. But the emotion he carried sounded like someone who had lived lifetimes. Ronnie came from Broadway roots, breaking through in the musical Hair, where he delivered the show-stopping opening line of Aquarius. The industry expected him to become a crossover star, the next big torch singer of soul. And for a moment, with this record, it felt like he would.
Can't I touch you?
The song itself is a study in tension, desire and restraint, passion and distance. The title says it all, the confusion of intimacy without closeness, love without warmth. Ronnie's voice is angelic, soaring, almost pleading. Every note trembling like a heart that knows it can't get what it needs, but still reaches out anyway.
I seem to be a little bit strong.
The arrangement rises slowly. Tender strings, gentle piano, then swelling into full emotional release near the end. Imagine a quiet evening in 1970, maybe someone sitting by the window, phone in hand, trying to decide whether to call. The room is dim, the world is still, and this song speaks the thing they can't say aloud.
Well, it sure seems a shame that you.
Ronnie wasn't just singing, he was confessing. But here's where the story turns bittersweet. Even with a voice that could move mountains, Dyson never found that consistent spotlight. Health struggles, industry shifts, and the unpredictable nature of fame kept him in the margins. This song became his legacy.
I've never been before.
His one undeniable stamp on the soul music story. And while Ronnie gave us yearning and desire, the next track is all energy. A song built for sweat, celebration, and full-body rhythm. Number 2, I Wanna Take You Higher by Ike and Tina Turner.
I wanna
we step straight into the fire. Released around the turn of 1970, I Want to Take You Higher was Ike and Tina Turner at their most electrifying. A performance that felt less like a song and more like a possession.
It's getting longer too. Music sounded good.
Originally written by Sly and the Family Stone, Ike and Tina didn't just cover it, they ignited it. Their version hit with sharper horns, faster rhythm, and the unmistakable force of Tina's voice. Raw, volcanic, unstoppable. This wasn't meant for polite listening. This was for sweat-soaked juke joints, late-night basement parties, and dance floors that shook until the lights came back on. When Tina growled into the mic, audiences didn't just cheer, they lost themselves. Her voice carried every lived emotion: joy, pain, power, defiance. And the band behind her was locked in tight, drums snapping, guitars rattling, horns punching through the mix like lightning. But here's what makes this hit uniquely special. It became their only massive mainstream crossover record, the one that stamped their name into the cultural memory of the early 70s. For all their legacy and influence, the charts didn't always reflect their impact. This was the one moment the world had no choice but to pay attention. Close your eyes and it's 1970. A house party is sweating with life. Floorboards shaking, cousins dancing, someone clapping long after the song ends. Nobody's thinking about tomorrow. Everyone is lifted, higher, and now. We reach number 1. The final song on our list isn't just a hit. It's a story, a memory, a lesson wrapped inside a rhythm, a track that lived hard, hit deep, and never let go. Take a breath, because this last one stays with you. Number 1, Who's Making Love by Johnny Taylor. And here we are, the moment. Released in late 1968 but living strong on radios well into 1970, Johnny Taylor's Who's Making Love is one of those songs that hit the culture like a lightning bolt. Johnny was signed to Stax Records, the Memphis powerhouse known for grit, gospel, and the realness of everyday life. By the time he recorded this track, he'd already lived a few lives. Gospel quartet singer, soul stylist, and a man with a voice that could preach, plead, and play at the same time. This is a record that was bold. It flipped the script. While many songs of the era focused on heartbreak from the victim's side, Taylor sang with a knowing smirk. If you're out running around, you might want to think about what your partner's doing too. It was a mirror, a challenge, a bit of truth-telling disguised as a dance groove. And dance we did. The horns hit like a clap of realization. The rhythm section walks with purpose, steady, confident, undeniable. Johnny delivers each line like he's talking across the table, not singing from a stage. You feel it, you nod, you know exactly what he means. This was grown folks' business on wax, and listeners heard themselves in it. The mistakes, the ego, the regret, the vulnerability nobody wants to admit. That honesty made it explode. Number 1 on the R&B charts, number 5 on the Hot 100, a true, wide-reaching hit. Yet for all his talent and future successes on the R&B circuit, this remains the song most people remember. The moment where Johnny Taylor spoke a truth the whole world recognized. And as soul music does best, it made the truth groove. From church pew vocals to street corner stories, from sweet harmonies to late night regrets. These songs remind us that the early 70s were full of artists who left one perfect spark of soul behind. One song, one memory forever. Thank you for taking this stroll with us. If you felt something, even a little flicker of nostalgia, go ahead and subscribe to keep the groove alive. And when you're ready for the next chapter, click on the video on your screen. 10 forgotten one-hit R&B wonders from 1969 will be moving into another unforgettable year in soul.